Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I'm your host today, Jared Timms, and I am joined alongside, this is impressive here, guys. We are able to get 4 people on at one time of the Talking Halos crew. Nate Green, Derek Ciapola, and Brock Davis, and of course myself, Jared Timms. This is a little bit different. I'll say that. I don't think we've ever had this many people on at one time from the Talkin' Halos crew. If you've been here for a while, you know all of us. If you have not, this is everybody. Just gonna throw
except
that
for John. Don't forget John.
We're missing
No,
John.
no. This is not. Yeah, John. We're missing John. We are missing John. This is almost everybody. This is 80%. My math is correct, which I'm not great at math, but yeah. How's I don't even know. Let's do this in order here. Let's go. Derek, how you doing?
I'm living the dream. Losing a home series to the Orioles. Yes, score. It's the way things are at home this year, apparently.
Well, give me a good takeaway from this series. Give me one good takeaway.
They were in every game. They did manage to pull one out late today.
Mm-hmm.
Still hitting power. Those are all good things.
Absolutely. Brock, how you doing?
Good, man. I've managed to not really miss a game yet, so I've been really, a couple innings here and there, but yeah, there's a lot going on, both positive and negative.
You will miss some this weekend, right? You
yes.
will miss some innings this weekend, right?
I will miss some things this weekend. Unfortunately, I
Explain
will.
why.
He
said unfortunately.
Well, come on. Fortunately, I will be out celebrating with my groomsmen and my bachelor party this weekend.
There you go.
The following weekend, I'm getting married, and the following weekend and week, I'll be in Hawaii for my honeymoon. So I'll be missing a lot of games. So I'm going to need to be getting in the loop with you guys, making sure that I stay up to date on everything before I come back. So I'll be gone for a few weeks, but by the time I come back, I'll be hopefully happier than I ever have been. So I'm excited.
Hopefully.
I feel good about it.
I love it.
Better.
You're getting
freaking better. You're getting shackled in a few days. You're like,
no doubts.
I feel I got a good feeling, but you better.
I definitely feel a lot better going into my wedding weekend and confident about that than sometimes I do going into the first inning of an Angels game. I'll tell you that.
About that though, right? Like, okay, question. Is there anything Angels in her wedding dress?
No.
Okay, warning sign number 1. Is there anything Angels planned at all during the wedding weekend?
I think that she's including baseball / Angels something in her vows.
You think, but you're not sure.
Well, we're not seeing each other's vows.
Okay, but she's going to drop the hint. You just kind of think.
Well, she said something about it.
Okay, warning sign number 2. All right. We're going for the trifecta here for strike 3. All right, is there any accommodations being made for the honeymoon for watching Angels baseball?
Not talked about it.
Strike 3, you're out, dude. That's a train wreck waiting to happen. Marriage over before it starts.
Hey, well, I will tell you what, though.
Are you at least golfing in Hawaii? Are you at least?
I'm disc golfing in Hawaii, believe it or not.
It's not the same.
I'm not bringing clubs to Hawaii, bro. I'm not bringing clubs to Hawaii. I ain't doing it. And if I don't play with my own clubs, I don't even really want to play.
So when we come, by the time you get back, what's really going to happen is you're going to have your balls in a mason jar, and there's going to be 0 Angels action all at home.
No, I'll tell you what. We already had a conversation the other day. I said, hey, listen, and this was in front of her family. They all laughed. She kind of peered at me, but she laughed. I said, basically from March to September and hopefully October, you're going to be taking a back seat.
She said that or you said that?
No, I said that.
To who?
To my future wife.
Uh-oh.
Okay, now this isn't a strike. This is dumbassery there. Why would you say it to her? You don't admit that stuff.
Hey, at least I'm honest. I'm not going to be like, yeah, babe,
Dude,
we'll watch our show.
Works,
we'll watch our show.
No, you kind of like
nights.
this. You should be like this. Honey, you are the best. You are number 1. This is all about you. Okay, that's how it should be. It should never be, yo, you're taking a back seat. If you're saying that now, she's in her mind, she's thinking, if he's saying that now, in 3 years, he won't even know my name. He'll have Mike Trout tattooed on his back. But he won't know me at all.
Hey, it's only a few hours of every night. It's all right. Then we can watch our shows.
A few hours every night. That's the prime hours for you know what, man. You're talking about.
I'll give a massage during the game or something.
Okay.
It's all right.
Jared,
Hey,
you
it's
better
all-
move on because this is
It's
a train wreck
all
waiting to
about
happen. This is
compromise. It's all about compromise.
Where's the compromise? You told her she's taking a back seat.
Fellas. Angels
just saying.
podcast here. Angels podcast. I know we're kind of talking about baseball, but bring it in, wrap it in here, fellas. Come on,
Derek ran away with it.
we got a series here that
I haven't talked to him in a year, and he needed to get owned a little bit there.
I understand.
Destroyed.
All right. We can discuss this later, fellas. Nate, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I don't know about you, Jerry, but fantastic.
I don't even want to say it.
You have to.
He just listened to all that. Of course, he's great now.
Oh, did he just get married?
No.
No.
Nate Green, congratulations on a GSAC conference championship. A co-championship. You're not.
No. It's ours. It's ours.
No, it's not. I'm gonna let you know.
It's
Co-champion. Same record as Hope International. You guys just
in conference
series. You guys just took the season series, which means you guys won.
It's ours.
Congrats.
It's
Congratulations.
fine.
Okay, repeat that. Where's this at?
College.
Yeah,
So he
yes.
coaches at the rival college that I
Yes.
played at. So
And you're happy with that then?
Yeah,
You
we
coached
won.
at the rival college.
Yeah, and we won.
And
Nate.
Jared, you're good with that. You're like, congratulations. You're not salty about that at all.
Oh no, he is.
It's okay. They're not deep enough to go all that deep. They're not deep enough to go all that deep in a conference tournament, but
We'll see.
we will see. We will see.
Well,
So
deeper than your team, apparently.
well, no, we're right behind. We're like number 14 in the nation. They're like number 10 in the nation. They swept number 16.
We're
in the
top
nation.
5
It's
now.
long. It's a long story. It's a nightly conversation that we have about this. So.
It is.
Guys, as always, just want to thank you all so much for listening and watching this podcast here at Talking Halos, making us the best Angels podcast out there. I truly do believe it. I hope you guys like all this tomfoolery we are having here early.
I
But
call it shenanigans. But okay.
shenanigans, I like it too. I like
Blue
shenanigans.
wire.
Blue wire. Sorry, Derek. I have been saying blue
I
wire.
got you.
Thank you. Blue Wire. I'm still waiting for the t-shirt from Blue Wire so that we can promote it on YouTube as well. Blue Wire, if you want to do that. If you guys are looking to start a podcast, you can go to Blue Wire. That's where we do ours, and they're fantastic. I absolutely love what they do with our stuff here and promoting it out there and putting it on every single place that you can listen to podcasts. So, guys, if you could subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening to it or watching us, you can hit that bell on YouTube. You can follow us on all of our social medias. Fellas that hit us up on social media, promise I'll get back to you. We're working on, figuring out all social media and such like that. Promise we'll get back to you. I'm not forgetting about you. You can follow myself on Twitter, Jared_Tims. You can follow Nate Green 34, Derek at D Ciapola, correct? Am I right on that? Yeah, good. And then Brock at BDROX8. I know I got that one right because I suck at that. So let's get on to some Angels baseball talk. Unfortunately, the Angels lost 2 of 3 to the worst team in the AL. We agreeing in that? Can I just get a head nod, yes or no? I know it doesn't help with the.
I don't know. After seeing them play today, I'm not sure they're worse in the AL.
They got an interesting team. I'll say that. I think we've been saying it for a while. I know I said like there are 13 teams in the AL or something, 14 teams in the AL that are going to be in for a playoff spot, and the Orioles aren't that team. Like they're going to be absolutely brutal because of the AL East. But they look pretty good this weekend. Regardless, they're young. They want to go out there and prove, what's going on. They played a veteran team here in Anaheim, and they just kind of took it to the Angels. To be honest, that's the best way to say it. I don't think the Angels played all that well at the end of the day, either. So, you look at it game by game. Actually, let's just kind of jump into like this 3-game set and. Let's go Nate first. You got negatives from any of this? Like, what'd you see? I know that the bullpen was kind of brutal. I know that Joe Madden, in a sense, was kind of brutal with what he had available in the bullpen, but you got negatives.
I love how you bring me on to talk about the negatives, but no, very, very tough start. Detmer's 5 innings didn't always look that sharp, which, it was okay. Nothing special, but still working. He's got to get a little better. Suarez not getting through 5 innings. I am going to freaking hit my head against the wall every single time he pitches because he is only going to go 4 1/3 every time out. And this bullpen cannot take going 6 innings, 4, 5, 6 innings every single game. It is unbelievable. offensively, nothing really sticks out. I mean, you look at it, we haven't seen Zimmerman ever, and we typically don't do good against guys we haven't seen.
Especially lefties.
Yes, especially lefties. But also, before I get into positives, why are we using Iglesias in a game we're losing, and then we don't use him in a save situation today? But whatever. I'm frustrated with that as well, especially since Archie Bradley has been the worst pitcher in the Angels bullpen so far this season. We're going to trust him to get 3 outs when it matters most. Yeah, it's very close, but it is Archie Bradley. So yeah, it was a rough series from a management standpoint and from a baseball standpoint, but really good to see Joe Adell stand right center. I mean, that's something we talked about. I'm still in on him offensively. Brandon Marsh is still raking. I know he had the stomach bug today, but still raking, which is huge. And I love to see the competitiveness out of Noah Syndergaard. Syndergaard did not want to come out of that game. We have not seen that since Jared Weaver, and that is something that we talk about. Yeah, but it's different. It's a different competitiveness than Dylan Bundy. It's something we haven't seen in a long time. It's a fire. He wants to be on the mound. He knows he's the best guy to get outs. Regardless of who's coming in the game, he is the guy to get out. So I like to see that. I like to see the way he's pitched so far this year. So yeah, I'm not too worried about him.
Brock, how you doing down there? I didn't forget about you and talking Angels baseball, even though you guys had to go off in your tomfoolery shenanigans, but we'll let it go. Let it go. You've seen all. I'm gonna be honest here. I think I watched one full game, possibly. I saw Syndergaard start. Kind of tough up and down game for him. I thought he battled there. But Brock, what have you taken away from this series? I know that actually. Let's take it back a notch. What have you taken away from this year in general? I mean, I know it's kind of been an up and down year. We've seen the Angels get hot. We've seen the Angels struggle. They have to play now 17 games in a row in 17 days. It is a lot of baseball. It's good for the fans. It's not going to be nearly as good for the Angels, probably, because we'll see what happens. But, I mean, come on. What have you seen? You've seen every single Angels game. What do you got?
I mean, oh my gosh, there's so much. I'm really curious to see how they bounce back against Cleveland with this 4-game series. I think Lorenzen, his last start, I think he definitely had the ability to do a lot better than he really did. He kept kind of falling off to his left side. His balance wasn't all the way there, but his stuff was there. I think Lorenzen has really surprised me in what I think he's capable of. Suzuki, believe it or not, offensively has been slightly better than I had anticipated. I think almost everybody had anticipated. Whether it's going to last, I very highly doubt. Marsh, like you said, or Nate said, raking. 13 ribbies right now. I think he's tied for the lead with Ty France, or at least was last night. I know Ty France had some ribbies tonight too. But that's not really the point. The point is that Marsh is coming up with runners in scoring position, or even no runners in scoring position, and he's putting up numbers. He's going up. He's hitting the ball hard. Joe Adell has been slightly hit or miss, I would say, but really that was more or less in the beginning. After that first 3-game series against Houston, where everybody, I'm out on Joe Adell, right? All those tweets. But he's coming back. He's hitting the ball really hard. Like you said, the competitiveness in Syndergaard is, I missed that. I love that. I miss that. Jared Weaver is one of my favorite all-time Angels pitchers purely for that competitive nature that he had, where when he comes out of a game throwing, 6 innings with 2 or less earned runs, and you're like, you think you would see a good reaction, and he's just, for lack of a better word, pissed off. He's like, no, I want to go 4 more, or 3 more, like whatever it is. He always wants to keep going and keep going. So that's really nice to see from Syndergaard, especially when it's not, he's not giving up 5-6 runs in 4 or 5 innings and then being upset when he's getting taken out. He's putting up good numbers. He's has the command most of the time, other than the first inning of his start this last time. His ground ball percentage is sky high. I'm really high on a lot of guys, and I'm not. The good thing right now, obviously every team is either going to start out hot or they're going to start off cold. We're kind of in that weird middle ground right now where we have guys like Ohtani still hasn't nearly hit his capability. Rendon hasn't. And then we have some of those guys like the Suzuki's, Wade's, Velasquez hasn't done much offensively, but Wade and Suzuki that, you're going to see kind of tail off on that cold end. but I'm high on a lot of the guys so far, offensively and defensively, that are showing up. Ward has been raking like no tomorrow. There's a lot of good. I'm just really curious how this 4-game series is going to turn out with Cleveland. They've been putting up a lot of runs. So if our pitching can somewhat shut them down, this 4-game series, I think Lorenzen and Bieber are on the mound tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to like that matchup. I think it's a perfect matchup for Lorenzen because Bieber's tough, and I see us easily being able to get held to 3-4 runs through Bieber, if that. So Lorenzen is going to have to come up and put up or shut up for 5-6 innings, because if not, then I don't see us winning the game tomorrow. So yeah, a lot of highs, not too lows. 9-7, damn good start for where I think some of us were sitting day one.
After that first series, absolutely. So, Derek, can you take anything away from the series? I don't know if you can or can't. I do have more questions for you if you don't want to talk about the series anymore. I think you kind of put this series behind you and you kind of live with it, to be honest.
I think some teams just match up. You look at the Orioles and they're now 6-10, and I think when people talk about how bad they are, I remember talking to Josh Soroka last year, went to a preview for, and he's a guy for Box 336, the Orioles podcast, and he was telling me that they have a plan there. They are following basically the Houston model. They basically told everybody, listen, this team's going to suck for a while, but we've got pieces. And then he starts going through the pieces, and you realize, okay, this team does have pieces. And I really like the top part of their order. And it was that top part of the order today that was just gave the Angels all kinds of problems, pretty much all weekend. So all that said, they're a better team on paper than people realize. And they're definitely better than Texas, Kansas City, all those teams. So, I mean, whoever say I disagree, Jared. They're not the worst team in the American League right now. And I think come 2 years from now, there's going to be a real problem in the American League East. It's not going to be long at all. Just watching how they play. And that said, the Angels, from my point of view, they didn't play well this weekend. They didn't. And that's a concern for me. Listen, they went on the road and they took 2 out of 3 from Houston in Houston. That was a big series for them. Houston has been like the dead weight on their like last 5 years. If you take all the Houston series out of every season, the Angels are in contention every year. Houston is a dead weight on them. And for them to go to Houston and take 2 out of 3 is a big deal. More than people realize. And they come home and they lose the series again. The only team they've really handled at home has been the Marlins, the flipping Marlins. Are we serious? So I'm concerned about one thing here. Why aren't the Angels winning at home? Why aren't they handling business at home? They go on the road and take out the Astros on their home field, but we can't do it here at home. That's an issue for me that I wish we had an answer to. Why aren't they playing better in front of their home fans? And I do have an issue. I mean, you mentioned Archie Bradley, and I just want to point this out. Pitchers do well depending on what their role is. The closer's mindset. Archie Bradley's been a closer in the past. He comes in today, and how does he do? He closed out the game, and he didn't scare anybody today. Maybe it's not about Archie Bradley being a problem. Maybe it's about how the Angels are using him. And that's something we should probably examine. How are the Angels using this bullpen as to where these pieces fit? Because I'm looking at Bradley and how he came out there today, and I remember his April 16th game against the Rangers. 3 strikeouts in 2 innings, pitched phenomenal, his best outing of the year. And I'm thinking, okay, where are the Angels really doing the job with him? And maybe he might be the guy you put in the 8th inning. A guy with a said role. I know you're like, no, probably no. But if you have, I'm telling you, these guys, when they have a role in their mind as to how this is what I do. I'm the 8th inning guy. I'm the 7th inning guy. I'm the 9th inning guy. All of a sudden, they latch onto that role and they pitch better than they did it before. Maybe it's not about Archie Bradley being a problem, as Archie Bradley doesn't know his role yet. And that's probably expected. We're not even 20 games in the season.
Yeah, well, I think that Aaron Loop shouldn't necessarily be in that role. I like Aaron Loop as like that multi-inning guy that just comes in and shuts the door after the Angels pitch 4 innings, after the starter pitches 4 innings in a sense. Like I'm fine with that because I do agree that I don't think Aaron Loop is your 7th or 8th inning guy. I don't think he's Scott Shields. I don't think he is that Francisco Rodriguez to get to Iglesias, Troy Percival type of guy. I don't think that's who Aaron Loop is at the moment. He's going to shut stuff down. He's not going to give up a lot of runs. He's been one of the best, if not the best, relievers in baseball for the past 2 years. But yes, I do agree. I think that and this has been a epidemic issue with Joe Madden since Chicago. He didn't
for sure.
Chicago for sure. He didn't manage in Tampa, and it is what it is. But yeah, it's just been an epidemic thing for him, and I think that putting people in their right roles, we're still trying to figure that out. 100%. So when it comes to the Baltimore Orioles series, I think you put it behind you. It is what it is. You got now 14 more games in a row, if I'm not mistaken. You need to go out and at least play 600 baseball. You need to win 2 more than what 500 is in that situation. You got to win. If you go 10-4 or what 9-5, you had a pretty good little little run there. So we'll see what happens. It's not an easy run. You got a hot Cleveland team coming in. Then you go to Chicago.
They're not hot, dude. They just got swept. They got swept in New York.
We'll see. I think
they got destroyed in New York.
I think they've started the season hot.
They get hot when they play us.
Well,
and that's true.
You also
look at the Guardians.
Yeah, that's fair. And you look at who the Angels have to face. It's Bieber. It's McKenzie. Please, Zach. It's not an easy 4 that they have to face. And you go 4 to Chicago in the Windy City there. You go 4 to Boston. You might get a little bit of break playing the Nationals, and you go to Tampa, who's freaking Tampa Bay, no matter who they play. So the next 14 games aren't easy for the Angels, that's for sure. So moving forward here, kind of going to start this question here. David Fletcher is coming off the IL very, very soon. Who's getting taken out of any spots here? It's not Taylor Ward. It's between Jack Mayfield. It's probably shouldn't be Tyler Wade. It's got to be between Jack Mayfield and Andrew Velazquez at the moment. And even then, Velazquez, Joe Madden has already said he's played himself into a spot. So that's a tough role to move. So I don't know. I'll start kind of here with Brock and see what he has to say about this. But who you taking out when Fletcher comes back? Because that is a very tough thing, and that's a very real thing that's coming real soon.
Yeah, I've said this many times before. This is why I'm thankful I'm not an MLB manager, because this decision I feel like is difficult. But when you really break it down, like you said, it sure as hell ain't going to be Taylor Ward. That's a lock, no doubt. Tyler Wade, he's hitting for average. He's been speedy on the bases and providing defense to a level that we're all suffice with. Between Jack Mayfield and Andrew Velazquez, I feel like I'd rather take Andrew Velazquez down. And the only reason I say that is because I think that with our roster specifically, David Fletcher, Madden's saying that about Velazquez because of what he's been providing defensively, right? Can we argue that? Because he hasn't provided anything offensively.
No.
So if you're hitting below 150, but you're providing the defense, what does Fletcher do? He provides that same defense, if not better than Velazquez.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Not a shortstop.
Okay, but that's the discussion, right? If Fletcher, say that Velazquez is a 9 out of 10 on the defensive shortstop scale, purely defense, where does Fletcher rank on the offense side versus Velazquez? Because as of right now, Velazquez is a 1 or a 2 out of 10, and Fletcher has the ability to be 6. So where do you weigh Velazquez's defense versus Fletcher's defense when we all know that if Fletcher's on, then he would be the perfect offensive guy to fit that lineup depth that we need, because Velazquez, we've needed that and has not provided that at all.
Here's what Andrew Velazquez is: John McDonald. Right? That's what he is. He's a guy that, if everybody's healthy, that's what Andrew Velazquez is.
And who's David Fletcher?
David Fletcher is David Fletcher. Like he's a guy. He's Matt Duffy. He's like I've had this conversation before. Like if David
Duffy.
Fletcher is playing more than 90 plus games, this isn't a playoff team.
He's a poor man's Ben Zobrist. Let's just put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. You know, he's
Y'all
not
aren't
gonna,
on the Fletcher train?
He's a poor man's Ben Zobrist. Honestly, David Fletcher, you look at WRC plus, you look at the numbers, like the hard hit contact, the strikeouts, all these things. He's a very, very average hitter. He plays above average defense at second base. He's below average defense at shortstop, in my opinion.
So
Andrew
we're not really
Velasquez
arguing whether we
plays.
should have David Fletcher. If we could have
No.
any second baseman or shortstop on the planet.
No, I'm not saying that David Fletcher shouldn't be on the team. I'm just saying that Andrew Velasquez gives the Angels a better chance defensively than David Fletcher. So I am designating for assignment Jack Mayfield.
yeah.
Mm.
Yep. That's where I think you're at. That's tough. It's tough. I think that
The one thing that Velasquez has is he has options. So he probably gets moved, but I'm personally designating Jack Mayfield.
So we're DFAing Mayfield over optioning Velasquez.
I think
Absolutely.
here's where I go for here's where I'm at with Jack Mayfield is there are 30 Jack Mayfields out there. I mean, Jack Mayfield got DFA'd by the Astros. Jack Mayfield got DFA'd by a bunch of teams. I know that he's had his moments with the Angels, but there are 30 other Jack Mayfields out there. And if you want another Jack Mayfield that's hurt, it's Mike Stefanik down in the minors. Like just
So Rendon takes a day off. How are you moving Wade, Fletcher, Velasquez, and Duffy to move
Duffy,
to fill those
Duffy
three spots?
played
Duffy at
third
third.
base 30,
What I figured.
yeah, a million times.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. It's interesting. I think they're all very similar players, though. At the end of the day, like
That's
you
why
can
it's so
flip
hard.
You can flip a coin, and yeah, that's why it's so difficult. Like you can DFA Jack Mayfield, hope that he goes through waivers. You know, wait on David Fletcher in a sense, but I mean, you're paying him the money. You got to bring him up, and he's starting for you at second base, shortstop. Andrew Velasquez has been a spark plug. You can't move Tyler Wade because he's been the MVP of the Angels so far. Basically, he's been the man.
Not basically, he has been.
Yeah. So, Derek, I don't know what your thoughts are on this. I saw some interesting looks from you.
I think from a baseball management point of view, if a person has options versus DFAing somebody, you option them.
But Madden's already said though that like he's, I don't know. That's my thing.
It doesn't matter whether or not you've earned a spot or not. The fact of the matter is how do you fit right now. And we talk about, well, they're all the kind of the same player kind of thing. And to me, Mayfield showed more pop now. I don't think it's that easy to find a guy like him out there. He's kind of like
Jose Rojas, Mike Stefanik.
I don't think Stefanik's ready yet. He will be.
I think he's
soon.
He's hurt right now, so I don't think you can bring him up.
But what I'm saying is I like Mike Bauer. He's been on our show. Whenever someone's on our show, it's always kind of like, yeah, I like him, yeah. But I just kind of view it as when you have a guy who isn't really hitting. At least right now, Jack Mayfield will hit here and there for you. He'll provide some pop here and there for you. Right now, that's not happening. We could talk about Fletcher. I think you and I are going to disagree on Fletcher. I know Johnny and you definitely disagree on Fletcher. Okay. I don't know what it is with you guys and Fletcher. But right now, one, I don't like Ohtani hitting the top of the lineup. I don't want him there number one. So Fletcher would go there. I like Ohtani number two, Trout number three. I'm not even sure they do that when Fletcher comes back. But in the end, when you have a guy with options versus a guy who does not have options, and you DFA him, and you do risk losing him, and he is a Joe Madden guy. You can't forget that. He's a Joe Madden guy. He's a Joe Madden guy. You don't want to risk losing that guy.
I just want to point out for you guys, it's not going to change your mind, but for the listeners who are curious about this argument, Jack Mayfield out right now in 28 played or at bats, 1 homer, 3 RBIs with a 923 OPS. Okay, so Derek is right when he says pop. Andrew Velasquez in 36 at bats, so I think I don't remember how many, 28. So in 8 more at bats than Jack Mayfield, hitting 139 with a 405 OPS. This decision would be a lot easier if Velasquez even had a 650 hitting 200. Like if he could even remotely get on base at all. but you're hitting a 400 OPS, hitting 130. The defense is vital. I agree. But at the same token, Fletcher can still provide what I believe to be above average defense. It might not be what Velasquez is providing right now because he has been a stud. The other night was a hoax. The flip hit the umpire. Not really his fault. People were giving him a hard time for that. But to me, Jack Mayfield, if Jack Mayfield had an option, that would also make it a more easy decision for me. But if we have to completely let go of Jack Mayfield, hypothetically, if he goes DFA right now with the 928 OPS or whatever that was, I don't see him coming back.
No,
Someone get him.
I don't think
someone's going to get him.
I don't think so either. I mean, it's the Packy Knot and it's the
Kyle Tyler.
Kyle Tyler.
I do want to point this out, by the way. I mean, right now with Velasquez hitting the way he is, I mean, it's lucky you have a pitcher in there. That's not a good thing.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I mean, it's the same pitcher every night hitting.
Especially when he's hitting 9 in front of because me and Derek both. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I don't really like Ohtani at the top either. But
I think Jared and I are on the same page with that one.
If we're gonna have Velasquez as the 9 in front of Ohtani, you gotta get on base, man.
Well, Nate, Derek, where do you want Ohtani hit?
Derek, Jared and I have Trout leading off and Shohei Ohtani hitting second because Trout hits with nobody on no matter what. So we might as well let him hit with nobody on to lead off the game and get more ABs. And that way Shohei Ohtani can hit with a runner on first base who's probably walking. You're probably walking Trout. And then Ohtani's going to have the first base hole open hitting 2, and then you have Rendon, and then you can hit Walsh or whatever it is. But
I mean, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because then we do that. And then it's like, well, Trout's never going to have anybody on base. And as of right now, Trout is sky higher when it comes to OPS and the ability to hit the ball versus Ohtani so far. So Trout
at least understands how to take a walk.
That is true.
I
don't like either one of them in the leadoff, personally.
I think the Angels are in a good situation to have right now, if that makes sense. Like, you have so many different options right now. This isn't something that the Angels have had to deal with lately. No. You know, it's been like, oh, let's see who we can pick up on DFA instead of, well, we're going to have to DFA this person or we're going to have to send this guy down. So, yeah, it's very interesting to see. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do. I think Fletcher comes back today, Monday, if not, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't think he needs that much more time to be ready. He's seen now 15 at-bats in AAA, so I think that's plenty. So I think he'll be back in Anaheim fairly shortly. So let's get on to predictions here before, we let everybody go here. We got the 4-game set against Cleveland here. Game 1 is Shane Bieber against Michael Lorenzen. Derek, I'll start with you. What do you got there? Who you taking?
For just one game or the whole series?
We're gonna go game by game. Pick by pick. It's tough.
I think I want to say Indians so bad. The Guardians. I think the Guardians. Cleveland. Screw it. They're just Cleveland. All right. Coming across country, getting swept by New York. I would expect tomorrow to be their sluggish game. So I'm going to call that an Angels win for game 1.
Brock, game 1.
Unfortunately, I'm going Cleveland.
Nate?
This is a weird one. I'm a huge Shane Bieber fan. His velo's been down. I think the Angels get to Bieber a little bit, and I think they win game 1.
I think Shohei Ohtani has hit a home run off of Shane Bieber, if I'm not mistaken, in the past. But I'm going to take Shane Bieber in game 1. I think the Cleveland Guardians take that. Game 2, Tristan McKenzie against Patrick Sandoval. Nate, I'll start with you.
I love Patrick Sandoval. I think he's going to pitch well. I don't think the Angels are going to hit well against Tristan McKenzie. I think the Indians win game 2.
You said Indians. We should have a glass with a jar. We just throw quarters in the whole time. Anytime anybody says Indians during the series.
Eric only ever said the first syllable.
That's 5 cents.
Game 2, I think Nate's kind of on the head with, I don't think we're going to hit Tristan McKenzie very well. I think Patrick Sandoval is going to be on as long as his changeup is there. And I'm going to go Angels here. I think that both Tristan McKenzie, I think it's going to be kind of a pitcher's duel, and then we're going to get to the bullpen, and it's going to be a close game, but Angels take 2.
Derek?
Cleveland.
I also like Cleveland in this game as well, though it's going to come down to the bullpen. So again, I'm going to take Cleveland in this game. Game 3, Zach Plesac against Shohei Ohtani. Derek, what do you got?
Angels.
Brock?
Angels.
Plesac's been one of the best pitchers in baseball so far this year. Plesac wins it.
Shut up.
Oh my goodness.
Get out
He
of
has
here.
been. He has been.
He has been. It's a pitcher's duel. At the end of the day, it's a pitcher's
It
duel.
is.
I'll take Shohei Ohtani. I think he's going to shove again. I said it last time. I don't think he gets 12, 13 strikeouts again, but I think he's going to absolutely shove against a Cleveland Guardians team that is lacking in the offensive production area. Final game comes down to 2 young stars, Cal Quintrell against Reed Detmers. Brock, start us off. What do you got here?
This is actually probably the hardest one for me. Detmers has stuff, man, but oh man. I think we're going to split the series. I'm going Cleveland.
Derek?
Cleveland.
Nate?
Cleveland.
Ooh, I'll take Reed Detmer's resurgence game. I think he's gonna jump on this one. I think he's gonna look good. Go 6 innings. I'll take the Angels in this game. So, guys, overall, do we have any final thoughts? Just shout them out if we do here for the Angels moving forward. We got 14 straight games in a row. A lot of sleepless nights here at Talking Halos.
I don't think it matters who we send down because they're one of either Velasquez or Mayfield will be gone end of the month. The Angels will have to get rid of one pitcher and one position player at the end of the month. So it really doesn't matter. You're picking at straws right now. So
Who's
either way, I think Wants goes down.
That's tough. I haven't even thought about that.
I think Wants goes down because he just came up. You know, the Kenny Rosenberg, that roster spot has been kind of all over the place anyway. So I think Andrew Wants goes down.
I think Ohtani should go down. Fix that 206 average.
Hot take.
That'll go over well.
I'm kidding, folks. I can feel the daggers coming through the podcast. It's a joke. Bad joke as it is.
That's like Galaxy Star take.
All right, guys. So just want to thank you all again for listening here at Talking Halos or watching us on YouTube if that's what you're doing. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell wherever you are listening or watching. You can follow us on all of our social medias. You can follow myself on Twitter, Jared_Tim's, Nate at NateGreen34, Derek at Ciapola, and Brock at BDROX8. Guys, don't forget to look out for everything. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up here at Talking Halos. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.